No matter how much money you make per year, to somebody you are rich, to somebody you are poor. Let me unpack this for you because this could help understand what rich people or successful people fear and what they're allergic to. Let's unpack this. Let's just say you make $500,000 per year and you go out with your cousin who's making $50,000 per year. To that person, you are super rich, right? Should your cousin automatically expect you to take the bill because you make a lot of money? Should that be fair? Well, that's not cool. I made that money. Why should I have to pay the bill? Well, that person thinks you're rich. But I don't make a lot of money. After $500,000 tax, it's only $250,000 per year. I get it. But to that person, you're very rich. What if you make $500,000 per year and you go out to dinner with your sister and she makes $3 million per year with her business? Should you automatically assume for her to take the bill because she makes more money than you? What if you make $3 million per year? You go out to dinner with your uncle and you take out your family and everybody and your uncle's worth $79 million. Should your uncle automatically be expected to take the bill? At what point does this stop? Let's say I go to dinner with Elon Musk. I have some money, but Elon's got $300 billion. I don't have that kind of money. Should I automatically say, well, Elon, you can buy this restaurant if you wanted to. I'm sure you can afford $2,000. You take the bill. You realize what an entitled mindset that is. You know, if I ever went to dinner with Elon Musk, I would never let him pay for dinner. The only way he paid is because it's the restaurant he goes to and the waitress doesn't take my money. But there is no way in the world my hand doesn't go in my pocket and I don't get up and say, excuse me, I'm going to go to the restroom, and I go give the credit card to that person because I want that relationship. Elon doesn't need this relationship. I'm seeking that relationship. And by the way, this perspective I'm giving to you is with anybody. Sometimes people are seeking these relationships with other people and they're automatically thinking, well, he has money, they should offer. I've never gone out to dinner with anybody that I was seeking to get closer to and expect them to pay the money. That is a entitled mindset to expect people to automatically pay for it. By the way, there's an interview with Michael Jordan and Charles Barkley with Oprah Winfrey. Barkley's wearing this blue outfit, Nike, and Michael's in a suit, and they're talking shit to each other. And Barkley said, I don't ever want to go out to dinner for Michael to think I'm one of these guys that want to take advantage of his money. He says, I don't have Michael type of money. At the time, Michael only had like $400 million. Today, he's worth $3 billion. I'm not saying only, but at the time, compared to what he is today, it is only. And Barkley at the time had $30 million. He just got a few $100 million contract. But the idea was Barkley understood the psychology of relationships to want to keep a relationship like that in his life, where at least for money, Michael's not going to walk away and say, all you want to do is when you go out and you expect me to pay. You know what Michael does? Michael eventually slowly cuts that relationship. Now, don't get me wrong. They don't have a relationship today because Barkley talked smack about him and, you know, as a commentator, and Barkley's like, I'm just doing my job. But it's definitely not because he was taking advantage of Michael's money. If you want to have good relationships of people with higher identity, more importantly, if you want to have the chance to retain those relationships, you must understand the psychology that you gotta give more to them than they will give to you. Sometimes all I ever want to see as a person that maybe in many cases I'm the one that has more, I just want to see the effort because I'm still gonna want to pay. But I just want to see the effort that you value that. Then I'll come through. But that simple effort of showing and understanding the psychology will keep high identity people in your life. And if you don't do this, trust me, they have plenty of people who want to have that relationship in their lives. And unfortunately, they have leverage because they have worked tireless hours on top of hours behind closed doors to have the leverage of freedom and choice of who to befriend and have relationships with. And that takes years, if not decades, of sacrifice to earn the right to have the moral authority of having that leverage. Anyways, if you're watching and saying, you know, why did Pat just make this video? Somebody asked this question. I thought applied to a lot of people out there that have probably gone through this as well. Hopefully that helps.